What's going on, people, and welcome to Man Knows Football. You are here with Guni for episode 4 of the transfer news. If you haven't seen the first 3, please do me a favor, go back and check those out. You get me? But today we've got a very special guest, and that is the agenda truck. Yes, I've saved up all your super chats to fill this baby up full tank for moments like today when I'm hearing Bayern Munich and Leroy Sane are open to parting ways. But before we do get onto that and to the other 2 stories, by the way, yeah, there's not only just that one, there's a story about Hakimi, there's also rumours about Romelu Lukaku potentially heading back to Inter Milan, so make sure you stay to the end of the video to get all of that news. But before we do get into all of that, make sure you do continue to smash up that subscribe button. We are under 500 subscribers away from 10,000. Yes, I've been screaming road to 10k since 5k, and we are almost there. So the job isn't done, it's not over, so please continue to smash up that like button, continue to leave your thoughts down there in the comments, continue to share the content. You get me? All of those things really help with the growth of this channel, and we're going to get to 10k in no time now. I can see the finishing line, we could all see the finishing line, so the only thing left to do is to cross that finishing line. Now let's get inside the agenda truck, let's fire it up, and let's make as much noise as we can as we ride through the streets in this big green beast. You get me? And today's agenda is about Leroy Sane. Now I'm going to say this first and foremost, I haven't actually seen any tangible links of Leroy Sane to Chelsea, or Chelsea even being interested in Leroy Sane, but this is why I had to bring out the agenda truck, because this is a signing that I personally would like to see at Chelsea. Also, I'd love to know if you lot would like to see Leroy Sane at Chelsea playing his silky football on that right wing at Stamford Bridge. Let me know down there what you think in the comments if you would like to see Chelsea linked with Leroy Sane. Now, let's have a look at this potential transfer. Now, I'm going to go back a little bit and start off with the player that we have been linked with by tangible sources, and we're seeing day by day that a deal is getting closer and closer. Apparently, Ousmane Dembele might be our first signing that we get through the door. Is that a marquee signing? For me, 100% it is. As long as he stays fit, we know the quality that this man can bring. And that is a left-footed winger on the face of it, yeah? And Leroy Sane is also left-footed. So I know some of you might be thinking, they're both left-footed, they both ain't got the best injury records. We'll come on to the injury records later, more so on Leroy Sane's, because I've already spoken about Ousmane Dembele's in a previous video. Check out that previous video, I don't want to go over that again. But let's have a look here. Let's start with Ousmane Dembele. Well, I do know he is left-footed, but he is also a very ambidextrous player. If you don't know what that is, that means he is equally as good on his right foot, almost. I know his left is his dominant, so he's going to be slightly better with his left naturally, but he's not too far off with his right foot, and from what I've seen of him, he looks absolutely amazing. So that brings me to this. Can he play on the left wing? If you like your inverted wingers like me, inverted means, you know, a right-footed player playing on that left wing so you can cut inside and get the shot. I'm a fan of that. Ousmane Dembele can also do that. That leaves space for Leroy Sane. Yes, Leroy Sane to occupy that right wing. Now, could you imagine Leroy Sane on that right side and Ousmane Dembele on that left side? Yeah? That is going to give us goals. The only concern there would be keeping the both of them fit, and I'm hearing you. You lot haven't even seen this video, but I can hear thousands of you lot screaming, no, these 2 guys are injury prone. You get me? But again, we'll come on to that later. But if Sane does come in, does he improve massively on what we have? Absolutely. Is there space for Leroy Sane to come in? That brings me on to my next point, yeah? A lot of the signings that we make are going to depend on outgoing, so I wouldn't get too excited until you start seeing a few faces getting out the door. Now, it is rumoured that Christian Pulisic will be leaving Chelsea Football Club this summer, and potentially Timo Werner. So there is your space. So that's 2 wingers. So obviously Ousmane Dembele in and Leroy Sane in, Werner and Pulisic out. Leroy Sane is better than any winger that we have at our club. Can he get us goals? Absolutely. Absolutely he can. So that's another threat on that right side as well as the left if Ousmane Dembele is going to be playing. Do we need goals in this team? Absolutely. Do we need threats from outside the box? Absolutely. Is Leroy Sane that? Absolutely. Can he break down a low block? Does he have the feet, the flair, the IQ to do it? Yes, we have seen him previously in the Premier League. He is quote unquote Premier League proven. He did a very, very good job at Manchester City, won a title with them. So Leroy Sane is not new. He's not new to English football, you get me? But can he do the business at Chelsea? I believe that he would absolutely be the right choice to put on that right side. Absolutely. Will we be the only club available if we were to register interest in him? I don't think so. I think PSG might be all over that because they're also looking for a winger. They decided to not go for Ousmane Dembele. I strongly believe PSG might be all over this transfer and he'll end up going there. Like I said, I haven't seen any sustainable links from Leroy Sane to Chelsea. So this again, it's just part of the agenda bus. It's just putting a what if out there, just planting the seed a little bit. Let me know what you lot would think. Would you like to see Leroy Sane at Chelsea Football Club? What pros would you see about having Leroy Sane? What cons would you see about having Leroy Sane? Now I hear the injuries, you know, Dembele, his injury record is horrendous. We all know that. Leroy Sane had his injury problems at Manchester City. Did he have them at Bayern Munich? I'm not too sure. I haven't really been paying too much attention to Bayern Munich over the past 3 years since he's been there. But another thing is that now that I bring that his time lapse on, he is 3 years into a 5-year contract, so the price tag might not be as, you know, expensive as what it would usually be. I mean, don't get it twisted, it's Leroy Sane. They're still going to ask for a lot of money, still going to ask for a lot of wages. But remember, if we do get Dembele in the door, there's no transfer fee being paid for that. It's just his wages that we're going to pay. So there is still space in the budget for another winger, you get me? Should that guy be Leroy Sane? Yeah? And on top of that, Bayern Munich are about to sign Sadio Mane, it's looking. You get me? It's looking, so they've already got a replacement coming in. But is that a direct replacement for Gnabry, who's not yet signed another contract at Bayern Munich? And Arsenal have been strongly linked with him. So it could be that. So let's see. Let's keep an eye on this whole Leroy Sane situation. Me personally, I would love to see it happen. Let me know what you think down there in the comments. Now for the next rumour of the day that I have been seeing on social media is that Achraf Hakimi, after a year at being at PSG, and it's no secret last year we were in competition with PSG to sign the player. We were in positive talks. It looked like it could potentially happen. PSG came in at the last minute and decided to price us out. But among other problems that might have arose was, you know, the issue of Reece James. Where will he fit into the team? Livramento didn't like the news of us trying to go for Hakimi. He felt like that would have blocked his path, hence why he went to that's one of the reasons why he went to Southampton. But a year later on down the line, Hakimi is not very happy, as it's been rumoured, over in Paris and would be open to a move. Now, here's the thing. PSG paid, I think it was 80 million euros for him, so it's going to be a very, very, very expensive transfer. Do I see Chelsea going through with a transfer like this for a left wing back, or no, right wing back who can play left wing back? I don't know. I don't know what Todd Bowley's on. I'm very, very hesitant about spending that kind of money on a wing back. Now, here's my thing, is that he is definitely a very talented, one of the top 5 in the world, 100% if you're talking wing backs. I really do like Hakimi and I'd love to see him at Chelsea, but for that reason, I'm not going to hold my breath too much. Now, we've got to bring back the other facts. Now, people are going to still say, yeah, but we've got Reece James. I agree, but just going back to the point that we've made, he can play as a left wing back. Now, is it foreign to see a right-footed player play as a left back or a left wing back? No. We see that with Cancelo over at Manchester City. He is an inverted fullback. He is naturally right-footed, decent with both feet, but very good with his right foot. Dominantly uses it, and you see the kind of chances that he creates over at Manchester City. Perhaps we might be able to get the same as Hakimi. Now, this is what I'm saying. I know on the ball in terms of creating opportunities and playing those, you know, breaking the lines and playing those fantastic Hollywood balls into space, Cancelo is a different kind of animal. I don't think Hakimi is there in terms of the level of his kind of ability. But can he still do a job? Absolutely. Can he still invert in? We see Reece James, even though he does play on that as that right wing back, we've seen him sometimes come into the midfield. Chilwell as well, do the same thing, come into the midfield. I believe that Hakimi can do that. Also, he can also stretch the game very well. He is very, very quick, very good with the ball at his feet. He's a skillful, tricky player. Can put in a good cross. You know, so he is a very good player. I do think there will be space for him, and I don't think it would have to hinder Reece James's development. And the most important question is, does he improve Chelsea Football Club? Does he close the gap from Manchester City and Liverpool? And I believe that he does. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. In terms of financial outlay, I wouldn't hold my breath. Again, it'll be very, very expensive. PSG will probably ask for something close to what they paid for him, or potentially even more, because he's still got a lot of time left on his contract. But let's definitely keep an eye on that. The last one of the day is about Romelu Lukaku. It has been rumoured that he has switched agency, and this new agency of his has been open to speaking to officials from Inter Milan. In fact, apparently they are already at Milan discussing the potential return of Romelu Lukaku back to Inter. Romelu Lukaku is not happy apparently at Chelsea Football Club in terms of the style of football that Thomas Tuchel plays, and perhaps from the reception that he has had from fans, but that's damage that he's done on his own behalf, you get me? So he cannot run from taking accountability for some of the stuff that he said. But if Inter Milan are interested and are willing to pay a sensible fee for him and take on his wages, I am fully for that. Do I think that's going to happen? Absolutely not. I don't think it's realistic. I don't think Inter have that kind of money unless Lukaku is really willing to take a serious wage cut. But apparently a link there is being made for this summer, which will be interesting. So look, I don't know how true that is. I think it's going to be a difficult transfer to pull off, but we're going to see over the next couple days how that's going to go, because if we are linked with a very serious striker, i.e. Lewandowski, fingers crossed, then we might start to have to ask the questions, or a Darwin Núñez or somebody like that. I know a lot of people are not a fan of Darwin Núñez, but in terms of strikers, that's the only other one that I can really think of right now. But let me know in the comments, do you think Lukaku's gone? Do you think these links with Inter are strong and he will be back in an Inter Milan shirt next season? Or do you think that Romelu Lukaku is willing to give it another go at Chelsea and, you know, try and, you know, get to the expectations that we had of him? But of course, we're going to have to see what happens over the next few days. And just real quick before we end the video, in terms of Lewandowski, since I mentioned his name, that's another striker who's just come out today and has made this position clear at Bayern Munich. And this comes from Mr. Here We Go's account, Fabrizio Romano. Lewandowski says, my era at Bayern Munich is over. I don't see any possibility to continue playing for this club anymore. Bayern's a serious club and I believe they won't keep me. I don't want to play there anymore. A transfer is the best solution. I hope they don't stop me. Lewandowski is that that caliber of player where if he becomes available, you have to sign him. I don't care, you have to sign him. That's the only striker left in this world that I believe can chat to Benzema in terms of being in that kind of category. I believe Lewandowski is the only striker that's left. If he's available, I believe teams should try and sign him. And you know, his price tag, I think is, well, I don't know how long he's got left on his contract. I believe it's only a year or something, or maybe even less than that. But I would love to see him at Chelsea Football Club. I still think he would bin ridiculous goals. He keeps himself fit. He's almost like a Cristiano Ronaldo. Like, his body is proper lean, looks after himself, a proper model professional, and you know he's going to come here to try and win things. So I believe he will massively improve. Imagine the front three of Ousmane Dembele, Lewandowski and Leroy Sane. Now, before I get ahead of myself, obviously, like I said, this is just agendas and this is just thoughts and throwing ideas out there. The realism of this happening, I'm not too sure, you get me, but I'm just putting it out there. These players are actually available, you know, and we are looking for replacements for certain players, and certain players are going out the door, and I believe all three of these players do fit the criteria. But more important than that, we do have to address the defensive and the midfield and the wing-back issues first before we do go into the attack. I do believe that. But that will be the end of this video. Let me know your thoughts on some of these players. Who would you like to personally see come to Chelsea Football Club? It doesn't have to be any of these players that I've mentioned. Just let me know your thoughts in the comments. Smash that like button as well. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Road to 10k, we are almost crossing that line. And if you do feel generous, there is a super thanks button down there that is optional to hit to support the channel. But all of the above are just as appreciated. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, please make sure you do stay safe. Bless up and up the blues.